Hello everybody and welcome to your online class. Today is Monday the 25th, 2020 and we are going to practice and improve our reading skills with our book. My name is teacher CosmeRobalino and today we are going to learn some vocabulary through these reading skills and reading exercises. As you can remember, the last time we were talking about the weather. We talked about Hurricane Julia, which was just north of the island of Puerto Rico, and it was traveling northwest, approaching Florida, and then it was traveling towards New Orleans. Okay, so today we're going to keep talking about the weather, but we are going to read an article, as you can see here on the page number 102. Okay, so let's take a look at the tips that we have here on this page before we read the article. Okay, so let me zoom in, and here it says reading and speaking, and then as you can see, the instruction number 1 says look at the title and the pictures answer the questions. Okay, so let's take a look at the pictures. Okay, the title and the pictures, and then we are going to discuss these questions. Okay, all right, so let's see, let's zoom out to take a look, and then we'll come back to the questions. Okay, as you can see, this is the name of the magazine, right? This is a news magazine. The name is Daily News, but the article over here is called It's Raining Spiders. And as you can see in the picture, if I zoom in a little bit more, yeah, it's all covered in white. It looks like snow, right? Okay, let's take a look at the other pictures. This is another picture all covered in white. So we're going to see what that white is. Look, there is another white here. Okay, so if you take a look at the title, it says It's Raining Spiders. For Bruce Cook of Goulburn, Australia, it all started with a strange feeling in his ear early in the morning. Okay, so now that we have read the title and the subtitle, right, let's see if we can answer these questions. Okay, the question number 1 says, do you think this will be a short story or a newspaper article? Well, because we read a name, the name of a person, this could be a short story, not quite a newspaper article. And what will you read about? Well, some interesting story, not very long, but a short, interesting story. And what weather words will appear in the article? Well, it's talking about spiders, so we are going to find something about spiders, maybe spider webs, and probably when you are afraid of spiders, you are an arachnophobic, right? So maybe we are going to find that word. Well, what is the strategy? It says here, be strategic. Before you read a text, look carefully at the title and the pictures. What information do they give you? use them to predict the content. Okay, this is what we just did, right? We saw the title, we looked at the title, we took a look at the images, and we have a slight idea of what's going to happen in the story. Okay, so we are going to move to the reading. Okay, it's a short story, right? But let's see what the story says. Something touched my ear and I thought, oh no, it's gonna rain. Unfortunately for Mr. Cook, when he looked up at the sky, he saw a vision from his worst nightmares. A nightmare is a terrible dream, a bad dream. Sometimes you wake up after a nightmare and you cannot sleep or you are afraid. It was raining spiders, he says with a shudder or a movement of his body, as if the weather suddenly turned cold. That means he was afraid when he was remembering, right? Millions of tiny spiders were falling from the sky. Bruce 43 is an arachnophobe. He doesn't like spiders at all. He ran indoors and closed all the doors and windows. The next morning, the whole town was white. It looked like snow. Next. But actually, spider webs covered the streets and homes. It's like something out of a horror movie, but this rain of spiders is a real scientific fact. How did it happen? Some spiders use their webs to make little parachutes. They use these parachutes to travel in the wind. It's a very common behavior, but people do not usually notice it. Why? Because there are only 1 or 2 spiders in the sky. Okay, so it's not billions, it's just a few. Okay, so let's go to the last 2 paragraphs. Sometimes millions of spiders travel simultaneously, and on a very windy day, all the animals arrive at the same place at the same time. That's what happened in Goulburn in May. Thankfully, scientists say that this is a very rare event, so it is safe for Bruce Cook to leave his house again. Okay, so you see, this is a very interesting story. So now I'm going to zoom out just to show you what we are going to do. This is our article today, and there are some sentences here, right, that we are going to analyze from the text. So we are going to go back and forth between these sentences and our text. Okay, so let me zoom in again, but this time I'm gonna go to the top of the next page, page number 102. Okay, so let's see. The sentence number, okay, so the instruction says, right, the instruction first. The instruction says, read the article and underline evidence to prove these facts. Okay, so we are going to underline sentence by sentence. Okay. So the sentence number 1 says that Cook had a spider in his ear. Okay, let's go back to the text and find proof that Cook had a spider in his ear. Okay, we're going to see how we can find this information. Okay, so it says here, right? How can we? Okay. Something touched my ear. Something touched my ear, and I thought, oh no, it's going to rain. Okay, so something was in his ear. But what was in his ear? Well, the next sentence says it was raining spiders. Okay, so here it's the information that Mr. Cook had a spider in his ear. Very good. Okay, so that's then the first one. Let's go on to the second sentence to see what evidence we need to find. Bruce Cook, sentence number 2. Bruce Cook is frightened of spiders. In other words, he is afraid of spiders. Okay, I remember something that is very close to being afraid of spiders. Do you remember that? Yes, you do. Okay, so let me highlight now in yellow, right? In the third paragraph, the text says Bruce 43 is an arachnophobe. Okay, that means that he is afraid of spiders. Okay, so arachnophobia and fear of spiders is exactly the same. Okay, so we can erase that and we can say that we found the evidence for the second sentence. Let's go to number 3. Sentence number 3 says that the spiders stayed in the town for more than 24 hours. More than 24 hours. Okay, let's go and see where we can find that information. Okay. Okay. So as you remember, uh, it says here that he ran and indoors and closed all the doors and windows. And here is the information that we are looking for. The next morning, the whole town was white, etc., etc. Okay, so here we have proof, we have evidence that the spiders were in the town for 24 hours. Okay, so let's erase that and let's move on to the question number 4. We are almost over, aren't we? Question number 4. Spiders have a way of flying in the wind. Okay, we know that spiders don't fly, but these particular spiders have a way of flying in the wind. Okay, let's find the information to support that. Okay, so okay, so the information is right here. Some spiders use their webs to make little parachutes. And then what happens with these parachutes? They use these parachutes to travel in the wind. It's like flying, like gliding, no? More like gliding. They don't fly, but certainly they can glide. Okay, so all right. So it's hard to notice, but because there aren't many, right? Okay, so let's go to the last question, the question number 5. The question number 5 says, reigns of spiders do not often happen in Australia. Okay, so in other words, how often does it happen, right? Okay, let's see. If you take a look at the last paragraph, it says, thankfully, scientists say that this is a very rare event. Very rare. So it means it doesn't happen very often. And this is what science says, not what people says, not what tradition says. This is based on scientific observation. Okay, so that's why it is safe for Bruce Cook to leave his house again. Okay, so let's erase that. And now let's quickly discuss the second part of this exercise because I really think it's very important. It says here, read the article again quickly and write down 8 keywords. 8 keywords. Okay, so let's see if we can zoom out a little bit. Let's zoom out the book a little, just a little bit. Yeah. And for what are the keywords? Well, spiders. Then arachnophobe, the number 2. And number 3, white as snow, right? So that's a phrase, white as snow, right? Obviously, spider web. So we have 2 related words, spider, spider webs. And the next one would be horror movie, scientific fact, parachutes, travel, windy day, and the last would be rare events. Those are the key words in our reading today. Okay, so thank you very much for watching the video today. Don't forget to ask your questions, doubts, next time we meet on our online class. Okay, take care and see you around. Bye-bye.